Happy start of fall. My name is Kelsey Lee if you are new, and today I thought that I would bring you along for a very cozy and chill fall day at home. It's around noon. This morning, Karajini and I went for a nice run down to the river just to get our heart pumping and feel like we did something productive to start our day. That way we can just be more chill and cozy the rest of the day. I also took some time to make a protein shake that I'm enjoying kind of as my lunch. But the rest of the day, I really just want to be inside, nice and cozy, and working on some fall preparation, if you will. So one thing I want to do is decorate for fall, really focusing on decorating in a budget-friendly and sustainable way by showing you how I shop around my own home. And then I want to create my fall TBR list and really just look around all of my bookshelves and figure out what are the books that I want to read in fall. And then I also want to do some journaling together. I want to create a fall bucket list in my journal. And then finally, when we get closer to dinner time, I want to make a delicious tomato soup. My garden is overflowing with tomatoes, so I have so many. All I know is I am an introvert, and the idea of just having this cozy day at home all to myself to be able to do all of the fall things that are gonna just light my soul is going to be wonderful. So to start our fall afternoon together, I think I'm gonna take my protein shake out onto our covered porch. So let's head outside. It's been so nice to sit out here and just enjoy the cooler weather. I have a sweater on and then also a little jacket, and I'm just so cozy and comfy. So I finished my Bible reading. I was starting 2 Corinthians as I continue through the New Testament in a year. And then I just picked up my current read, which is The Women of Jersey Island, a World War II historical fiction novel by Rachel Dymski, and I'm so enjoying it and so excited because I actually know the author. Rachel Dymski, who is the author of this book, actually goes to my church. She is the sweetest woman ever and an amazing author. Oh my goodness, her writing is so good. If you also love World War II fiction, I highly recommend it. It's really different than a lot of other World War II fiction. It's definitely just like one that you want to savor every word on the page. So I've been taking my time with it, but I want to hurry up because I have so many books I want to read this fall. So let's actually talk about that next and go back inside and browse my bookshelves. Okay, so we have a lot to cover. Well, I hope that you also have a cozy cup of tea. I just made myself some caramel apple dream. And as you saw, I went around and just went through my bookcases and pulled off the books that I think I want to read this fall. So I just want to go through them relatively quickly. I'm going to start with the ones that I've already started reading. So first is obviously The Women of Jersey Island that I am finishing up hopefully this weekend. There's something about World War II fiction that I just think lends itself really well to the fall season. I think it has to do with just kind of the darker atmosphere of war. It definitely just lends itself to cold, dark nights. So I will be finishing that book. And then 2 books that I have started but not finished are one, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. This is nonfiction, And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is all about how to just embrace the slow way of Jesus, the fact that our society and our culture and how we're so focused on just rushing and getting things done and productivity is not actually aligned with the spiritual disciplines that Jesus calls us to. So a really timely book. And then another book that I started actually last winter because I got it for Christmas and then I put it down for a while is Undone by Philip Yancey. And this is a modern rendering of John Donne's devotions. It deals a lot with the themes of illness and death and prayer. And so I do think that those themes also lend themselves well to the fall, and it's a nice short read. All right, so here's the big one that I want to get through in the fall and maybe into winter as well, and that is The Lord of the Rings. So I have seen these movies multiple times. My husband is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I really enjoy the movies and the story and Tolkien. I read The Hobbit, but I've never read The Lord of the Rings. And so we have this beautiful illustrated edition. Look at the sprayed edges, so beautiful. And there are original drawings and illustrations by Tolkien throughout. And what I'm hoping to do is actually read Lord of the Rings both in physical form, but also listen to the audiobook on and off, just switching between those two formats, because we also have the audio version that is done by the same actor who plays Sméagol or Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. And I've listened to parts of it when Ben was listening, and he does such a phenomenal job with the voices and just bringing it to life. It's really incredible. So I think it will be fun and also help me to move through it more quickly if I do it in more of a hybrid reading format. The next book I want to read, which is also in the category of World War II fiction, is The Black Swan of Paris by Karen Robards. And if you have followed along with my journaling and stuff, when I talk about books that I'm enjoying reading, you might have heard me talk about this book by the same author called The Girl from Guernica. This was, I think, my favorite book last year. It was just so good. It caught me off guard. I got it from the library and then bought my own copy because I loved it that much. It was so good. And this too, I think, would be a fantastic book for anybody to add to their fall TBR list. Highly recommend. But because I loved that book so much, I wanted to see if Karen Robards had any other books that she wrote in that genre, and she does. I don't know a whole ton about it, except that it is focusing on a singer for the Nazis. It says that she is an unwilling darling to the Nazis and has a position of privilege that allows her to go undetected as an ally to the resistance. Next, we have a book that has been on my shelves for a very long time, and that is The Widow of the South, a novel by Robert Hicks. And this is a book that I got at like a library sale or used store for super cheap, thought it sounded interesting, and then it sat on my shelves for multiple years without me actually reading it. But Ben picked it up and read it and said it's actually really great, and he loved it. So I'm looking forward now to reading it, and he said that fall would be a really good time to read it because it has to do with a personal cemetery, and it says that it captures the end of an era, the vast madness of war, and the courage of a remarkable woman to claim life from the grasp of death itself. Don't know much more about it, and I kind of love going into stories not knowing a whole ton more. So next I have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and I have no intention to read all of these. I think what I want to do is read one each fall for the next few years. So I just need to pick which one to read. I got this really beautiful set of the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes collection at a library sale. And so I just want to kind of choose one of these to read, and then I'm going to use the other ones likely to decorate. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then a series that I am continuing and have mentioned before is the Rose Cottage book series. That is actually a series that is through a publisher called Annie's Fiction. And so with this publisher, these books are actually not able to be bought from a bookstore. You have to buy them directly through the publisher. And my understanding is that when you sign up for this book club, basically they send you a new book each month. And the way that these books are written is that each book basically kind of aligns with that month. So this is the one for September, and then this is the October book. And it's been really fun to read these. I would say they don't have a whole ton of substance to them, but they are just enjoyable, lighthearted, cozy mystery reads. And it's fun to have like a really short book that aligns with that month and the season that you're in. So I have been enjoying them, even though I wouldn't say that they're necessarily like ever going to be top favorite books of mine. There are two more books that I want to read by the end of fall. The first is The Faithful Spy, and this is by John Hendricks, and it's all about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. It says here on the back that Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a pastor upset by the complacency of the German church toward the suffering around it, and he formed a breakaway church to speak out against the established political and religious authorities. And when the Nazis outlawed the church, he escaped as a fugitive and then was really trying to just reconcile his faith with what was happening in the evil of the Nazi Party's agenda. This is really neat because it's not only a true story about this man, but it's also a graphic novel that is done in a really interesting style. There is also a movie coming out really soon about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, I believe by Angel Studios. I could be wrong, but I'm so excited to see that movie. So what I'm hoping to do is to read this and then watch the movie. And then finally, ending on a classic, this is Jane Eyre, which I believe starts in the month of November in the opening of the story. I could be completely wrong. That might be false information, but I swear I heard that somewhere, and it does seem, just based on what I know about the story, that it does have a good autumnal feel to it. And so I'm just really looking forward to reading this because I've never read it and I know it's so many people's favorite classic. This is one of the painted editions. They are put out by Harper Muse. So 13 books. Again, a few of these, like The Lord of the Rings and others, may go into our winter months as well. I would love to know what you are reading this fall and what you're most looking forward to, or if any of these books interest you and maybe you want to add it to your fall TBR. Let me know down below. So as I was going around to my bookshelves, I also pulled off some books that I don't necessarily want to read in this fall, but I do want to potentially decorate with them, because for me, books is one of the best way to decorate your home for a new season. So as I said, I pulled off the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle collection for Sherlock Holmes as books to potentially decorate with. And then I also have Edgar Allan Poe and his tales of mystery and imagination, and pulled this off because of, I mean, just look at it. If that doesn't scream fall, I don't know what does. So now what I'm gonna do is, as I enjoy my tea, I want to go down into the basement, as we all do when pulling out our different seasonal decor, and then also shop around my own home. I have a lot of decor that is just always out in our library and office that I think I might want to bring into our living spaces and use more as fall decor. This is our library. Say hello to Maddie, the pet nobody knew I owned, but we do have a snake thanks to my husband. This could be really cute to put with the Sherlock Holmes books, so I'm gonna bring that downstairs. I also love this little plaque that I got from Yellowstone. It is a mule deer track and it has like a little acorn and a leaf in it. So I think this could be really great as fall decor. And then I also want to take this owl downstairs. Has a lot of pretty fall colors in it. And these dried flowers and pheasant feathers I normally just have as decor here in the library, but I think those two could be really pretty as fall decor. Almost forgot this really pretty painting that is like on a piece of slate that we have here in the library. Love the gold leaves, so I'm gonna bring this downstairs too. So this plant I have here hanging off of this bookshelf is a great example of how I just repurpose for the seasons. So it just looks kind of plain and nondescript vase for spring and summer, but it's actually a fall planter. So when it comes time for fall, I just turn it around and actually give it a more prominent spot than it being kind of hidden up here on this bookshelf. So we're gonna bring it down and put it over on the mantle instead. So here is what we have. Nothing new, all things that either were the few fall decor items that I bought years ago over the years and have just kind of been collecting over time. Some nature that I have saved and just need to fix how it's presented, and then random items from other parts of the house that I think we can put to good use. Cue the fall montage. So this is another example of a really easy change that I make for the fall. So year-round, pretty much, I have this cover on this pillow, but in the fall, I reveal the pillow that I keep in here. Just like that, we have more fall vibes. The other thing I do is rotate my blanket, which is double-sided. And I like to use this side in spring and summer, a little bit more light and airy. And in the winter and fall, I use this side, which has a little bit more of a moody color. Here is one of my favorite fall decor items. These are some leaves that I gathered on a fall walk and then just dried them and put them in this kind of double-sided frame. It is pretty special in the morning when the light just kind of comes through the leaves and really makes them glow, and you can really see all of the colors and details. So that brings me to the final thing I want to do other than our wreath for the door. And this is something I do every year as well. And I highly recommend as a simple seasonal change is to look for things that are double-sided and have different tones that you can just switch for the different seasons. This table runner is a great example. I bought this because this side is great for spring and summer, and then in the fall and winter, all I do is switch it to the other side that is just a little bit darker, a little bit more of just like autumnal and warm colors. So same exact item, but gives you a totally different feel for the room. And then I have my vase here that I just use the same dried flowers every year. They give me the autumn vibes that I'm going for, and I don't have to pay money buying new flowers all the time. And here is another fall fake flower bouquet that I just put into this pretty blue vase that I have. Can feel the heat coming through there. All right, so here is my spring summer door wreath. I literally just use the same wreath base and just redo it every season. So I've gone ahead and removed all of the spring summer flowers that I put in it, and now you can see what it looks like just as I bought the kind of a plain wreath base. So here are my fall flowers, and you can really get whatever colors suit you and your style and feel autumnal to you. And what I do is I just buy these as, you know, the fake flowers that you buy at a craft store, and usually they come in bundles, and I just cut them so that I have individual flowers with about a 4-inch or so stem left on it, so that I can use that stem as what I insert into the wreath to hold it in place. I don't do anything to secure them super tightly, but if you have kids kind of going in and out the door banging it or something, you might want to use some wire or twine to make sure that all of the flowers you're inserting are secured. Here is how my wreath is looking. I love it. It's the same it looks every year, but it still just gets me so excited for fall again. I just think it's so pretty, and I made it. I mean, I didn't make it from like scratch, but just picking out your own flowers rather than getting a store-bought one that maybe doesn't have, you know, all the things you like, you can make it look really full. So that's my recommendation. Just get a plain wreath with some nice greenery on it, and then buy your own flowers for each season, and then just stick them in to your wreath, and you can have a wreath that looks like this too. Let's hang it up. So while I'm waiting for dinner to cook in the oven, because I am roasting the tomatoes and other veggies before blending them to make my tomato soup, I wanted to share with you what I got in the mail that is very, very fitting for the fall. And that is my FabFitFun Box. So this is their fall 2024 box, and when they asked if they could send me a box, I was so excited because I actually used to get FabFitFun on my own with my mom. My mom and I would always get a box together, and then we'd kind of play fight over who got to keep what from the box. So it just brought back really good memories, and I wish I could tell her that FabFitFun wanted to actually send me a box. I feel like I need to sit on the floor. There, that feels better. Basically, if you're not familiar with this company, they curate a list of like all different products that are just super popular brands. They even list a lot of the brands on the side of the box and basically provide them at an amazing price, but you get to pick what items you put in it, which is the other thing I love about this box, because you know that you're gonna love everything. I hate how with the subscription boxes, like, yes, the surprise aspect is nice, but ultimately I feel like you end up with so many things that you don't need or want, and sure, you can give them away as gifts or whatever, but I just think a model where you get to actually pick the things that you want out of a list of a lot of options is just so much nicer. So I know what is in this box, but I haven't actually seen it in person. Ooh, okay, so one of the items I was most excited to share with you guys is this, which is a recipe journal by Papier. I don't know how to say that brand. I see it all the time. It kind of looks like it's an actual cookbook sitting on your shelves. But then, of course, it's a recipe journal for you to write in all of your favorite recipes. So this is perfect because we're actually cooking right now. Okay, the other kind of kitchen-y item that I got that I was really excited about is a ceramic lined travel mug. So I picked this one, which I think was like a cranberry color, because I thought it's beautiful, but also like Ben could use it too if he wants. So this is it, so nice. And what's great about this is it is ceramic lined, so it means that it'll still keep it hot because it still has the stainless steel, but with it being the ceramic, you don't have like that metal taste that happens all the time with coffee. I also got a pair of earrings, and they're just really simple, pretty hoops. I wanted something that could go with my mom's necklace. If you watch my videos, you know I wear this every day. I feel like I should put them in. So there we go. So pretty, so simple. Love it. Okay, another kind of more cosmetic thing that I got is this lip and cheek balm in the color Posh. It basically matches my lip color, but it adds like this little pretty shine that I really like. And something like a little bit maybe seemingly boring, but I'm excited about, is they had the option of these laundry detergent strips, and I've always been wanting to do this just because it's so much more sustainable than getting like the plastic jugs, and literally they smell amazing. I'm so excited to do laundry, which Ben will laugh because it's my least favorite chore. And the final item, which is so perfect for fall, is a super cozy blanket from a really great company, which is Sunday Citizen. I think there was another color choice for this as well, so if you don't want kind of the burnt orange, there was another option. But yeah, it's like a full-size, really nice blanket. Oh, it's so soft and cozy. I'm so excited to curl up with my book and just do some reading after dinner. So those are the items that I picked. Like I said, every quarter you get to pick, I believe it's 6 full-size items, and just a really great way to get maybe those like little extra items that you would love but don't want to spend full price on. So check it out. I have the link in the description. And I do have a discount code as well that they so kindly provided for all of you. So make sure you use my code. I'll put it right here and how much it is because I'm not quite remembering in this moment. So yeah, those are the picks that I chose. If you get FabFitFun, I'd love to know what you picked for this box. And if you're interested in trying it, definitely check it out down below. So it's 6 o'clock, and I think in a moment I'm gonna take Jean for a quick lap around the block just to walk once more before we settle in for the night, and then we're going to finish our soup. But before we jump into that, while we still have some decent lighting, I wanted to share one more product-based thing with you because I've switched up my skincare this year, starting at the beginning of the year, because a good friend of mine from church has started her own skincare company that is all super clean. Her company for the skincare is called Noble Living Company, though she may have changed that too. But she has a podcast that she just recently rebranded to Noble Motherhood. So if you want to learn more about who she is and listen to her podcast, I'll have that linked down below. But she's all about living in your natural beauty. She is a believer and is all about just kind of using very natural, God-made, not man-made products. So her little routine, which she shared with me, is raw honey, witch hazel, and then her moisturizer that she makes. This is the facial cleansing honey, and I have to say I was a little like, really, honey? But it's so pleasurable to put honey on your face. So I do this in the shower. Honey really brightens your skin, and I feel like takes away some of the dullness that I was experiencing. So I start with that, and then after my shower I use witch hazel facial toner, and she makes this herself in the scent rose. It doesn't smell strong or anything, it's just like very light and pleasant. And then the final step is the moisturizer that she makes, and it comes in the sweetest little bottle. And when I first saw this, I was like, ooh, is that like not gonna last me very long, because you know, it's pretty tiny, but you only use the smallest amount and it's so moisturizing. I really do think it's for like all skin types. I feel like my skin has never looked better. This has been the simplest system that is working so well for me. Thank you to Hope. I'm so glad that I was able to support her. And if you're interested, I'm excited to share she gave me a discount code. It's just such a big deal. It's one thing when I share a discount code for, you know, a big company, but when a small business that really is kind of just starting out shares a discount code, you know, that really is taking away profit from them that they need for their families to survive, you know, the economy, everything. And so it just means a lot that she wants to provide that for all of you so that you could try it for yourself. So if you're interested, here is the discount code and you can use that at checkout. I don't know if there's a way to like write a little comment when you check out, but if there is, say hi from me and let her know that I sent you, and yeah, support a really great small Christian business and a good friend of mine. So I'll be doing this skincare routine after our walk and after dinner, but I wanted to share it with you now while we still had some decent lighting, and because I am not really one for like, let me show you how I get ready for bed type of content. Not for me. So this is what I use. You don't really need to see me apply it to my face to know that I use it and it works. After our walk, I finished making my creamy tomato soup. If you're interested in the recipe, I'll have it as part of the post for this video over on my Patreon. I also paired the soup with some toasted raviolis as a fun twist on the classic grilled cheese, and enjoyed watching Anne of Green Gables as I ate. And I wanted to end my evening with a warm beverage and some journaling, so I made my Rise mushroom hot cocoa, which is so delicious and creamy, while also having melatonin and mushrooms with all kinds of great properties in them to help you calm down and fall asleep. So it is delicious, but also just a great nightcap. So I blended that up and also topped it with some pumpkin spice just for a little bit more of that autumnal feel, and headed up to my studio to work in my journal and create a fall bucket list. And luckily I have lots of autumn stickers thanks to my Patreon, where we create monthly journaling kits, and the September collection has so many great fall stickers that I wanted to use to both create the bucket list but also create an introduction page to head into the fall season, in part because I haven't been journaling daily in the way that I would like to throughout the summer, but I want to get back into the habit. And a new season is the perfect opportunity to do exactly that. So if you also sort of fell away from your journaling in recent months, I want to encourage you to get back into it with the fall season. And a great way to do that is by creating an introduction page to the season and also, of course, a bucket list. While your bucket list can just be pen and paper, I definitely am one who loves the more creative touch and finds that when I bring in stickers and washi tape, it just makes me all the more excited about the season and actually using my journal. If you are curious where I get my decorative items for my entries, I encourage you to check out the description box where I have links to Obujo, which is one of my favorite journaling shops, as well as my Amazon shop where I'm always updating the link with different items for you to use in your own journaling. So after I did the decorating, I went ahead and wrote in my 10 items for this fall. And what is so exciting is many of them we got to do today. I wanted to decorate for fall and also make an autumnal soup, and we did both of those today. And I've also already set aside books to read throughout the fall season. Before we close, I did want to share that I also spent this evening putting together some happy mail for my patrons on the Abiding Joy tier. So if you are interested in getting a personalized thank you note and some journaling goodies from me sent right to your door, I encourage you to check out the Abiding Joy tier over on my Patreon. And of course, the stickers that I shared with you and journaling prompts and so much more are also on Patreon, and I am so grateful to all of my patrons. As we wrap up today's vlog, I also took a little bit of time to create a daily entry in which I talked about this day in a very simple bulleted format with a little bit of decoration as well. So I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me. I certainly enjoyed spending time with you, and I am praying that you have a wonderful fall, and that if you are in need of some more seasonal inspiration, that you stick around and consider checking out one of these videos next.